Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad, to talk about your upcoming weekend. And boy, are we in for a change. Now, if you like snow, let me recommend the Great Lakes area, Michigan, upper portions of Michigan, possibly even northern Indiana and portions of northern Ohio. It looks like you're going to be looking at some lake effect snows, not to leave out Buffalo, New York. Looks like you might be getting some as well. Now, those of us right here in the Ohio Valley, I think we could see some flakes of snow, but nothing significant, but it is certainly going to be cold enough. Let's first talk about your temperatures on Friday. It's not going to be too bad, but we're starting to see now that pool of very cold air up in Canada starting to drain a little bit southward. Right here in the Ohio Valley shouldn't be too bad. High temperature normals in the upper 50s now with lows in the upper 30s, so it's going to be pretty close to normal. Looks like we will also get some precipitation that's going to keep temperatures down a little bit. Those of you in northern Indiana, northern Illinois shouldn't be too bad. But look what happens here on Saturday. This pool of cold air starts pushing its way south. It shouldn't be too bad of a day here in the Ohio Valley, maybe a degree or two above normal, which would put us maybe in the lower 60s, but that's just about it. The real nice weather will be hanging along the Gulf Coast region. Now by Sunday, here's the change. Take a look. That cold air really starts diving its way towards the southeast. In fact, that cold front, again, is going to push its way into the state of Florida. So any tropical system that may want to try to get forming down in the Caribbean, it's not going to have a chance. It will continue to push it itself away. But this cold air is certainly going to be coming in. Notice these white dashes. Also, the winds are going to be stronger. And I think the high temperature on Sunday will probably occur in the morning hours, and wind chill factors could be down into the 30s. Now, let's talk about next week. Now, Monday is also going to be a very cold day. In fact, high temperatures here in the Ohio Valley may only stay in the upper 30s, which means much colder up towards the north. But by Wednesday of next week, we're starting to see modification of that air mass, so we'll get closer to normal by Wednesday. And then a sneak preview on into next weekend. Looks like temperatures are going to nicely modify and get above normal, which could put us back into the 60s. But in the short term, it's going to be relatively cold. Precipitation, this is on Friday. Here's the first frontal system pushing its way through. There will be some rain, I think mainly late in the afternoon here in the Ohio Valley as it pushes its way through, certainly colder up towards the north. And then here we go on your Saturday. Here's the next system going to get itself organized. See that L right there? That's what's going to tap the real cold air. Precipitation, most of this is going to move basically to the east here on Sunday. This is where it gets interesting. Take a look. Strong northwesterly winds over the warm waters of the Great Lakes will be producing some significant snow. There probably will be some accumulation up there, but it's not going to be much because the ground is still pretty warm. But some of those snowflakes could work their way into the Ohio Valley, down into Kentucky, certainly across Ohio. And take a look at the mess that's going to be heading up towards the northeast as well as the mid-Atlantic region. Then now points west. Pretty dry. By next Wednesday, pretty dry, a mess up towards the northeast. Look at all that snow up in Canada. It's going to be cold up there. But again, temperatures will be modifying here in the Ohio Valley. And then by next weekend, pretty dry. But look at California. You're going to get slammed with a pretty good system there. This is where you start need to pick up that snowpack in the mountains. So that's good news. But the rest of us are going to be pretty dry. Right now, it looks like next weekend will be pretty nice across most of the country. So here's our takeaway. Enjoy the next couple of days. Sunday is not going to be a nice day, and as well as Monday, very, very cold. And then we start warming up once again. I'm George, the Weather Dad.